Hello, my name is Tom, and I'd like to showcase one of my projects that I've been working on. So this is an Unreal Engine game that I've been creating. Let's go through the gameplay and I'll explain a bit about it. So if I do click start right over here, it'll boot up the game. Now there is music, so I'll be turning it off right as I show you, just so you can actually hear me. So that's the actual game look, and as you can hear, there is music in the background. I will be turning it off so that we can actually hear me. So let's save and then I'll restart the game. So this is a clicker game. This is a small niche game that's where you click something and something's supposed to happen, and through that there's endless progression through it. So in this game we have a timer at the very top. We have an enemy with an HP, so we have the orc level 1 at 100 HP. And every time I click him, you can hear the click effect, as well as there is effect right over here, the blue, whenever you click him. And there is an amount that goes up. Now this is the damage that I'm doing. You can see it reduces, so it'll be 100, 85, 70, 55. Now every time the timer goes back to 0, the HP will regenerate. So you have a timer that you have to go through to kill the actual enemy. Now there is going to be an effect. There's going to be a death animation whenever you kill him. You'll hear it as well, and some other things will happen. So let's go through it, and if I click one more time, you saw that there's a death animation. You can hear him actually dying, and then we have a new level that pops up, so there's a small sound for it as well. Now we do have a buy shop right over here. As you can see, I have 15 gold, so every time you do kill the enemy, you get a certain amount of gold. So this level 1 orc will give you 15 gold, as you can see. If I do it again, 45. Now these items, you can see the description while you hover over them. So say this mouse click, you can read it off saying each mouse click will give 25 damage per click, currently doing 15 per click. We can actually verify that by the number that goes up. So if I buy this, it'll be 40. So if I buy out over here, we can see the gold is 18. We have a lot more. You'll see a +1 that goes over here. It actually spawns over here. It's pretty small, but it spawns right over here. And if we hover over it, it says 40 actually. So let's test. Yeah, 40 is correct. So it does work. Now, these other items, you can see they say DPS. For those that don't know, it means DPS, damage per second. So let's say this light feather will do 5 damage per second. And it's currently doing 0 because we haven't bought any. So if I buy it right over here, you can see a +1. The feather goes over here. And we can actually see the HP slowly going down. You can see the animation as well as the number slowly going down. We can hover over it, and it also does say 5 DPS. Now, every time you do kill an enemy, the next level does come up. So let's say we go to level 2. We can see a new sprite animation. So a new character, which is the orc rogue, his level 2. And he's got a lot more HP. So it's a little more difficult to kill. We can hear that music showing that we got to a new level. We can go to level 3. Now we have the orc shaman with more HP and a more difficult person to kill. You can see it's a little more difficult, but we can still pull it off. Now, that is the general basis of the game. You will have new levels coming up with new enemies, gold that you can spend on new items, and it will just be a more scalable and progressive game, so it'll get harder and harder every time you go up. Now, there is more features to the game I will showcase. So if we, let's say, kill this person, the orc warrior, we can hear that was a different sound, and we can see a small skull icon. That means that we're in a boss level. Now the boss in this game isn't really any special, but there is just a lot more HP onto him, so it's a little more difficult to kill him. So you do have to buy the items. I don't think I'll have enough time, 5 seconds, to be able to kill him. So even if I spam my mouse, you can see I have no time to kill him. So we have to buy some more items. So let's buy some more items. Just anything. They just progressively do more damage, as you can see. So 134, 225, 344. I'm not sure if we can actually kill him. So to actually byproduct this, if the player cannot kill the enemy, you can always go back to an easier level and collect gold so that you can buy something into the shop, so that you can buy more items, do more damage, and then you can actually pass the levels. So let's actually kill a few more. Let's try to get, let's say, this Crown of Evil. And you can see they're actually dying way faster. Let's try to see if we can kill them this time. And it does work, so we can pass them. Now once you actually buy each item, especially each of the items in the shop, once you have at least one of each, so we just have to buy this Grand Wizard, there will be an ascension that can actually happen. So if we buy a new item right over here, we do have an ascension. Now if I click over here, you can see it'll say that we'll restart the progress, but 300 more damage. So that means that each time we'll ascend, the items that we buy over here will do more damage. So just to test it out, we can see that this one does 40 damage per second. That's the number below it, not the 25. It says that every time we buy it, which is the 25 damage, it will do 25 damage. Now, if we do ascend, it means that it'll do 300% more damage. So just to test it, it says 25. If we ascend, you can see everything went back to 0. We have no levels, we have no items, and all the items are gone. And it does now do 75 damage per second. So it did scale. That is the general basis of the game. You'll continue levels until you can reach the max level, and if you can't, you will ascend and then increase the damage so that you can actually go through the game and finish it out. That goes through a rundown of the game. Just to explain a little bit about it, we can see that we do have a map. I made this through tile sets, so just to show you that, if we go to the environment, this is the map right over here. And as you would know, you can take these over here, you can go on the layers, and then you can place them on, kind of like painting them on. So tile sets, a pretty easy concept to learn. Let's just remove that. In terms of the characters, we have animations for each one. We have the idle, the hit, which turns them a little white, and then the death animation that each one have. They're from textures using sprites. Same thing for the actual items. I believe they're over here, yeah. So the objects over here. If we go through the blueprints, we can see that we do have a database to store all our data. We have enemies, so all the sprites for the enemies. Now, there is a spawn point for all the enemies, which is over here. You can see enemy spawn point. And we have item spawn points for each item that we have. Next, we have the enums for any variables we need. We have interfaces, like let's say getting the player reference. So over here, a function for getting the player reference. We have the items, so each item that needs to be spawned, all the sprites that it has. A library for any functions that we need. The player actually using it, as well as the inputs, so me clicking the mouse, so you can see mouse click right over here. We can have the spawn points, the structures, so we can actually have the data for everything. So let's say an item info will have the name, the thumbnail, all these other information that it needs. And then obviously the general basics of the game mode, as well as the player controller. I don't want to go too in depth because we're already at 8 minutes for this video, but that runs down through my game. I'll possibly be creating more. It's a lot of fun creating games, especially as a small indie creator. And that runs through it. So thank you very much for listening.